Thank you, Can Corla. First of all, Minister, can I congratulate you? Is Minister here? Yes, thank you. On your new appointment, and I look forward to working with you in your role in the new government department that we are discussing here today. The Department of Higher Education, Research, Innovation and Science. And I think its title reflects the importance of this new department. Now, I fully support what's in this bill, and I don't see a reason to amend any of the sections as proposed. But of course, what's important is the work that you and your department colleagues will carry out. Now, the Taoiseach, in his statement, when he was setting up this new department, said, and I quote, he said, "The single most important decision in delivering progress for modern Ireland involved a decisive move towards expanding educational opportunity." Now, I fully agree with him, and it is in this context that I want to raise with you the issue of the progress towards the setting up of the various technological universities across the country. But of course, Minister, the one that I specifically wish to speak about is the Connacht-Ulster Alliance, which comprises a number of campuses across the North West and the colleges of Sligo IT, LYIT, Letterkenny IT and GMIT, which has, as I said, a number of campuses. Now, I have raised this issue before with the previous Minister for Education, and I've raised it also with the Taoiseach. And referencing the Taoiseach, as I said earlier, and I think it's important to reiterate again, I agree fully with his statement that the single most important decision in delivering progress for modern Ireland, and can I add, for the regions that make up modern Ireland, involves a decisive move towards expanding educational opportunities. Now, that move is underway, and one of its manifestations is the setting up of the technological universities. As I said, if we read the programme for government, we see your commitment to these technological universities. But what we also see is that the technological university in the South East is specifically mentioned. And all I can tell you, Minister, is when I was reading through the document, the fright I got when I saw it was mentioned a second time. Yes, the technological university in the South East is very important, and I wish them success and luck. But it sends out a strong message that this technological university is the priority. There was no mention of the Connacht-Ulster Alliance, none whatsoever. The only other third-level college mentioned in the programme for government is Magee, and I will come back to that point later. So, as I said, no mention of any of the campuses making up the Connacht-Ulster Alliance in the programme for government. However, the former Minister for Education, Mary Mitchell-O'Connor, did allocate a multi-annual fund of £90 million to assist the development and progression of the technological universities. And can I ask, Minister, and I expect a written response to this, I don't need to hear it today, but how much of that fund has been allocated or spent, and to the individual consortia that are making up the different TUs? So can I say that I am fully supportive of the enormous work and real progress by all involved, by Sligo IT, LYIT and GMIT, in progressing the Connacht-Ulster Alliance and in their progress towards meeting the criteria. Now, this is a process, and there is rightly an independent assessment as to whether or not the applicants meet the criteria. It's not a political process, it's an educational one. And This morning, and previously in fact, I had read the process for criteria for designation of a technological university, and under the heading Preparation of Plan to Meet Criteria, it states, the establishment of a technological university requires the consolidation of 2 or more institutions. Now, what this means, Minister, is that if all the 3 colleges I mentioned are not in a position by autumn to apply for TU status, that 2 out of the 3 can proceed. And it's my understanding that the 3rd college can join up at a later stage when it meets the criteria. I want to put on the record of this House that I absolutely and fervently hope that all 3 institutions will meet the criteria by the end of this year. I was privileged for 15 years to represent that entire region in the European Parliament, and I know this is not a parochial issue, it's an issue for the region. But in the unfortunate circumstances that this is not the case, and that only 2 of the 3 colleges meet the criteria, it is absolutely crucial that those 2 can proceed and the 3rd college can link up when it is in the position to meet the criteria. Because again, if you go back to the process of application, it tells us that once the application is submitted, a decision will be made within 6 months. But if the application is rejected because it does not meet the criteria, then there is a 5-year wait. And that simply cannot happen. So, Minister, the reason I emphasise this is I don't want any chance that the Connacht Ulster Alliance would not go ahead successfully with their application by this autumn. In my time as a politician, I have seen too many important issues slip off the agenda. The economic gap between the regions, the consistent underspend in the North West region, year by year, sector by sector. That underspend is across the board. It's documented in the Northern and Western Regional Assembly report of a few months back. It's in health, it's in education, it's in roads, national and local, it's in R&D, it's in fewer jobs created, and all of those figures are per capita. So that has happened. But we're looking to the future. And can I say, Minister, I don't think anybody set out that this would happen. I think it just happened by default, or by the fact that people were not as proactive as they should be. So I want to ensure that our higher educational institutions can make that application and play a hugely important role in the educational, social and economic growth of the region. Now, earlier, Minister, I mentioned Magee College, and can I say I would be absolutely delighted to see cross-border collaboration between the Connacht Ulster Alliance and Magee College. I think this would be vital because cross-border collaboration is so important. But the Connacht Ulster Alliance must go ahead under its own steam, because I believe it will provide us with a centre of excellence, a centre of innovation and a centre that will be able to respond to the needs of the entire region. And finally, Minister, can I tell you, I mentioned the Northern and Western Regional Assembly, and this is very pertinent to this debate. These are their statistics. Between 2013 and 2018, the level of general capital funding provided per undergraduate student in the North and West region was €141. The state average was 197. Now that tells you, because that's an average, that the spend in the other regions were much higher. So that's why I want to make sure that you are aware of this, your department is aware of this, that it does not continue, that we get our fair share, and part of that process will be ensuring a successful application for the Connacht Ulster Technological University. Thank you, Minister.
Gur míle mágad í Harkin ag bogor